everybody. I thought I was seeing the hall very packed because I believe there are many engineers in Liberia, and this is a convention. Then we expect to see the hall very packed. But I will also say, because of the role that they play in society, there may be some engineers now working to save the condition of our infrastructure across the country. But let us thank you for the invitation to be here today. The chairman and members of the board of directors of the Engineering Society of Liberia, Mr. President, Darling Toll, of course, officials and esteemed members of the association, of the society, distinguished guests that are here, if there's any government official also, our value engineers, policy makers, engineering students, I'm sure, because I have one at the Stella Marie Polytechnic, the folk estate, fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today to bring you a message at this very significant gathering which commemorates the 7th annual conference of the Engineering Society of Liberia. And let me say thank you for the organization. I want to extend also my appreciation to the leadership and the organizing committee of this conference under the chairmanship of Eric Gabriel Judges, a professional friend of mine, for organizing and executing this conference. I'm honored to have been selected as the speaker on day 3 of this annual convention. As the conference convened under the theme Innovative Engineering Solutions for Sustainable Development in Liberia, we're reminded of a critical role that engineering plays in shaping the future of any nation, not just Liberia. However, I'm reminded that my invitation to speak at this annual conference had a particular request, and that is sharing a perspective on how we can learn from China, specifically improving our engineering architecture. Accordingly, during the process of preparing my message, I pondered why is it that the Engineering Society have asked me to share my perspective with reference to China. Is it because I was schooled in China, though in a different field, but I've also acquired many years of experience in the engineering environment as a public sector practitioner, as Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Public Works, and now the Minister of Public Works. Nevertheless, in consideration of your particular interest, kindly permit me to speak briefly on the topic Innovative Engineering Solutions for Sustainable Development in Liberia, a perspective on how we can learn from the People's Republic of China. Today, Liberia stands at a crossroad. As a developing country, we face many challenges, mainly as a result of infrastructure deficit, the lack of road connectivity, energy insecurity, limited industrialization, which have over many years restrained economic growth and development. Notwithstanding, with the possession of abundant natural resources, a very youthful population, and a resilient spirit, I believe that we have the potential to transform our nation into a regional hub of innovation and sustainable development. I do also believe that innovation engineering solutions can play a pivotal role in Liberia's sustainable development, especially if we place emphasis on investing in our economic infrastructures. For example, roads, energy, seafood, airports, telecommunication infrastructure, etc. However, to achieve this, we must address the challenges in our infrastructure deficit and engineering sector. Today, I want to explore how Liberia can draw inspiration from global leaders in engineering and infrastructure development, particularly the case of China, to chart the path towards progressive economic growth and development. However, before going in depth on the cause of this topic under consideration, it is imperative to outline a brief synopsis of the current state of our engineering and infrastructure sector. Liberia's infrastructure deficit is glaring. You can see it everywhere, from inadequate road network, the limited access to electricity, the lack of sustainable water and transport infrastructure. Our infrastructure gap continues to hinder economic growth and social development, as it is well documented and specifically stated. Deficit in energy and road infrastructure serve as the binding constraint for economic growth and development. According to the World Bank, only 27% of Liberians have access to electricity, and our road network connectivity remains amongst the lowest in the region, having only 10% of a 30 kilometer of road network paved. This is considered as a binding constraint for economic growth. Even the assessment conducted with the support that we should have gotten years ago from the MCC suggested that road connectivity and lack of electricity continue to serve as binding constraint. These are the challenges or the gap that President Joseph N. Waka led the administration through Pillar 2 of our infrastructure development agenda, under the arrest agenda, the inclusive agenda for inclusive development is seeking to significantly close or bridge the gap. I do believe that these challenges can be confronted, but require innovative thinking, strategic planning, collaborative partnership, patriotism, and country first, as exemplified by the People's Republic of China. Lessons from China, a blueprint for our transformation. China rise as a global leader in infrastructure and engineering. It's a testimony of the power of innovation, strategic investment, long-term planning, and commitment to seeing the country develop. Over the past few decades, China has transformed its infrastructure landscape, building the world's largest high-speed rail network, modernizing its city's road network, telecommunication, ICT infrastructure, modernized housing facilities, thereby lifting millions of Chinese out of poverty to the massive targeted and executed development infrastructure project across the country. China has moved resources from the south to places that did not have resources for development. The western part of the northern part of China is not compared to what you find in the south. something China is considered as, if not the richest part of China, but the strategic plan and program move resources into those areas to ensure that there is equitable distribution of development across China. Liberia can learn valuable lessons from China experience, which should be anchored on the following intervention. First, strategic planning and visionary leadership. China's success in infrastructure development is rooted in its ability to set long-term goals and execute these goals with precision. The Chinese are very tactful. The Chinese are very committed. The Chinese are very regimented in what they do. Liberians must adopt a similar approach by developing a national infrastructure master plan that prioritizes critical infrastructure projects to align with sustainable economic development goals and ensure accountability and transparency in the utilization of scarce resources during these projects' development and implementation. This is why President Walker has announced the planning and to-be execution of a post-war infrastructure conference sometime this year. Continuous intervention and investment in human capacity. China engineering sector developed because of its emphasis on education and aggressive skills development. Liberia must invest in STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to enhance the leader capacity of technical vocational education training institutions and provide continuous scholarship opportunities for qualified and a select group of young Liberians to study abroad in engineering courses. By building skilled workforce, we can guarantee that Liberia will be at the forefront of its national development agenda. China continues to invest in manpower. Manpower development can be also a competitive advantage. China used 1.4 billion as its population compared to India and other countries that are similar, but has transformed the human resource as a key asset also for development. That is why China is considered as the world's factory. Labor costs in China compared to other developing countries is low, and that has created a shift from Europe, America, and other countries into China for production. Public-private sector partnership engagement. China has successfully leveraged public-private partnership to fund large-scale infrastructure projects across its country. PPP and BOTs were translated into the Chinese economy in the 1980s, realizing the need for investment in economic infrastructure to enhance rapid economic growth that relieved public finance burden. China adopted this model, and it works for them. Liberia should aggressively adopt similar model to attract the needed investment in roads, energy, water system, etc. This is why, as Minister of Public Works, my vision is to see private sector funding into the road sector. Over the last 18 years, majority of the investment in our major corridors has been done by multilaterals and bilaterals. We believe so, we appreciate them, but I believe private financing is good enough for the investment we need in our road sector. I believe private financing can allow us to make adequate investment, on-time investment, to improve our road network. By creating a favorable business environment and offering attractive incentive, we can encourage both local and international investors to participate in our infrastructure development. A new field, adapting green technology. China is a global leader in renewable energy, with massive investment in solar, wind, and hydropower. Liberia, with its abundant sunlight, rivers, wind resources, can follow suit by integrating green technology into our energy infrastructure project. This will not only address our energy deficit, but meaningfully contribute to the global effect and combat the negative effects of climate change. Liberia is endowed with a lot. And I can remember while working in the president's office in the RDC, working with the RREA, we conducted studies. We have water resources that have the capability of building many dams across the country. Today, some dams have been built to supply energy, which will serve as upgrade for the Liberia Electricity Corporation. The Bailey 4, which is being constructed very soon in Layfette. There's one to be constructed in Sino. There's one being constructed also within Layfette. It's the John River, Gavana River. So many water resources that can allow us to expand on our energy potential. We should not lack electricity. Leveraging international cooperation, which is very key. China adapted what you call the Belt and Road Initiative and has demonstrated the power of international cooperation in infrastructure development. Liberia can strengthen this cooperation and create partnership with China, which we already know, other bilaterals, multilateral partners will be alone to access additional funding, technology, and other expertise to enhance our investment in our infrastructure. However, we must ensure that such collaborations are mutually beneficial and aligned with our national interests as a nation. Having outlined some of these valuable lessons we can learn from the People's Republic of China, it is important to highlight some of the role required of you, the engineering societies and engineers of Liberia. As engineers, you are the architect of Liberia past, present, and future. It is your responsibility to pursue innovation, uphold ethical standards, advocate for sustainable practices. You must embrace new technology, such as artificial intelligence, which is beginning to lead the world, smart systems, etc., to design solutions that are efficient, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly. Moreover, you must work closely with policymakers to ensure that infrastructure projects are inclusive and address the need of all Liberians, especially the disabled and those rural dwellers. By prioritizing projects that create sustainable access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities, we can create a more equitable society for all Liberians. Engineering remains a key component in guaranteeing sustainable development in Liberia. Remember, the citizens, religious leaders, doctors, nurses, teachers, economists, administrators, accountants, agriculturists, lawyers, among other professionals, must interact with equipment, structures, automobile, planes, ship, energy, roads, bridges, telecommunication highways that are designed by who? Engineers. constructed by who? Engineers. Maintained by who? Engineers. Repaired by who? Engineers. We must work to elevate the status of our engineers in both the public and private sector. I believe the engineers should be treated like the lawyers in Liberia. I believe I also believe the engineers should be treated like the doctors. So let's work to that. I've worked with the engineers over years, and I believe more need to be done for our engineers. And as Minister of Public Works, I'm working with the engineers to make sure we can begin to do that. That engineers be engineers and get the benefits of being an engineer. The board of directors of the society, Mr. President, who features a member of the Engineering Society, our value engineer. The journey towards sustainable development will not be easy, has never been easy, but it is a journey that you must undertake with determination and unity. I admonish us to draw our inspiration from the People's Republic of China infrastructure development approach while remaining true to our unique context and value as Liberians. Let us invest in our people, embrace innovation and build partnership that will propel Liberia's social and economic development. To the young engineer in this hall, I say this to you. You are the leaders today and for the future tomorrow. Your creativity, your passion, and your dedication will shape Liberia's infrastructure sector for tomorrow. Dream big, work hard, and never lose sight of the impact you can make as the engineering society. In closing, I urge all stakeholders, the government, which I represent, the private sector, academia, and civil society to join hands in advancing Liberia's engineering and infrastructure sector. Together, we can build a nation that is not only prosperous, but also sustainable, resilient, and inclusive. Together, we can drive Liberia towards a future of prosperity, inclusion that guarantees social and economic development. May this conference that you've had over the last weeks continue to inspire you to take bold steps towards a brighter future for Liberia. And may the road ahead be smooth for the opportunity for all Liberians as we pursue sustainable development driven and foundation by engineers. Long live the Engineering Society of Liberia. Long live the Republic of Liberia. May God bless us all. And thank you.
We all please stand. We'll call the President of the Engineering Society of Liberia. Have a seat. Thank you.